Now in northeasterly conditions, we'd actually get a tow right out to this corner, as I did on Tuesday, and fly the pandy run, which is down to our right and off round to the right. What I'll try and do is, let's just fly out a bit further out into the valley, you can have a look. So this first bit here is the cat's back, and then it drops back onto the main pandy run, which is just far in the far distance. That round the corner here is working quite well as well. Look at that. We'll keep going for the moment. So this is the cat's back as I was describing it. And you can see it tails off just to the right there, so we'd get to the end and then drop back onto the main pandy run, which is the main ridge behind it. So it works quite well in northeasterly conditions. Locally the fields aren't very good. However, if you push out into the valley to the left, which is the Glding Valley, you'll find the fields are much better. We'll go back in the opposite direction now, John. Just looking back towards the cat's back here. This face here is actually more north facing anyway, so that's probably why we get a decent burst of lift off it. I think there's a bit more north in the winds than normal for the ridge. So northwesterly conditions, this ridge works really well. I think it's more north-northwest, which is why this space we're getting a burst of energy. The common on your right now stands out very clearly. You can see it's nice, big and flat. Around to the left. Go back in the opposite direction. You see we've got the K13 coming in the opposite direction, so I'm just going to edge out to the right. I know we're slightly higher than she is as well, and whoever's in the other K13 will actually see that we've seen them and that we're keeping well clear. As it was, we actually climbed up above them anyway. As soon as the glider's gone past us, then you can edge back towards the ridge to get to the stronger part of the lift. Now what I'm going to do, John, is I'm going to actually edge out into the valley a little bit, and we'll just have a look at rejoining the ridge. So we'll just push out to the right. Just say that we wanted to go and look for a thermal or wave. So just push out into the valley. I don't think we've been pushing out very far, but we'll see. So if you did think it was waving, and you could start to see the conditions changing, you either might have a slot opening up round about where we're pointing at the moment, over the top of the river, or we might have a wave bar setting up. Then you need to get yourself as high as you can on the ridge and then push out towards it. Now depending on the type of glider you've got will obviously depend on how far you think you can push out. Now today there's no signs of wave at all, it's quite stable, quite thermic, so I'm not expecting any wave. The thing is, if you're pushing out looking for lift, you've got to keep in the back of your mind, well, what I'm going to do, obviously, if I can't find it. Well, you do have the options of the fields out here, they are getting better, but really you want to try and get back onto the ridge. So don't leave it too late. We're actually in quite strong sync now, so I think I'm going to turn back now. Another important thing, especially with wave setup, is never assume that the ridge is going to work. If the ridge and the wave lift goes out of phase, you might get back to the ridge to find nothing is happening and you haven't got much lift or no lift whatsoever. So just keep that always in the back of your mind when you're coming back to rejoin. What am I going to do if it doesn't work? Well, in this case, if it didn't work when we're coming back now, then I'll be landing on the common to our right. So So I'm joining the ridge at sort of like a 45-degree angle. I'm keeping a very good lookout to make sure that I haven't got any other gliders and we're not conflicting. Accelerated the glider up to, in this case, to 60 knots. And as we start coming into the lift, I leave myself sufficient time to turn away from the ridge, but I want to keep that wingtip nice and tightly in. So now edging the glider in towards the ridge, looking ahead so you can see the bit of ridge line that's sticking out. And I'll leave myself time, anticipating the contour of the hill. Remember what I said about people coming round the corner of Edas? So have a look first. It's clear, round to the left, suck yourself in. Good look to the right to make sure it's clear, obviously, and then round to the right, repeat the exercise.